Welcome back. We are awaiting a press conference right now concerning an active shooter situation in Midland and Odessa, Texas. At least one person is dead and more than 10 are injured. Let me get right to CNN's Crime and Justice correspondent Shimon Prokupecz with some new information.
Significant information here coming out of the Midland Police Department. They say that the active shooter was shot and killed in Odessa, Texas. This is according to the Midland Police Department. The suspect that they were looking for, that they engaged, where that trooper, it's believed that's how that trooper was shot. He is dead. That suspect is now dead. Police are saying, they say that it's been confirmed that the active shooter was shot and killed at the Synergy in Odessa. This is appears to be an entertainment complex. I'm not familiar with this area, but from just some of the research that I've done, there's a movie theater there. There are some stores there. So was at this complex. The police engaged the shooter. He was killed. It's not clear if he shot himself or if they actually shot him, but we do know that there was an exchange of gunshots between the police and the shooter. And they say, very significant here is that they say there is no active shooter at this time, and that agencies are investigating reports of possible suspects. So what does this all mean? Obviously, well, it sounds like police are not sure that they're looking for anyone else. Now, initial reports, as we were saying, always say there's more than one shooter. People calling 911, concerned that they're hearing gunshots, seeing cars, seeing people run, sometimes are mistaken, and that's when we get reports of more than one shooter. Police right now saying, very significant piece of information, yes, the shooter is dead, but also there is no active shooter or active shooting situation that they're dealing with. So right now, it seems at least that the police are saying that they have this under control. They're going to keep searching. They're going to try to find these other cars, description of other people that witnesses may have provided. Certainly that's going to keep going. Significant, we have a shooter dead, and right now, no active shooter.
Right, let me just read the specific tweet here from the Midland Police Department. It has been confirmed that the active shooter was shot and killed at the Synergy in Odessa. There is no active shooter at this time. Right, Midland Police. All agencies are investigating reports of possible suspects. So as we continue to follow this situation, let me bring in James Galliano, retired FBI supervisory special agent, who's been with us from the beginning of this. James, first, your thoughts on this new information.
Hugely consequential news, and the police department was right to get out in front of this. The most important piece of information for the public is there an ongoing threat? And obviously in this situation, it appears that the shooter's been neutralized or interdicted by the police. Anna, I think I've heard a couple of the other analysts say the same thing, and I echo this. While we are through this first phase and while we can take a deep breath, the work is not done yet. And Jonathan Wackrow spoke about, preservation of crime scenes. And Juliet talked about, hey, the initial reports are often inaccurate, and we've got to follow every lead. We've got to follow the evidence where it goes. We've also got to make certain that there were no co-conspirators here. And that's difficult to do when the primary suspect, the shooter's been interdicted. You cannot question that person. So I'm guaranteeing you, the FBI, the state police, the Department of Public Safety in Texas, the local police officers, they are going through the subject's vehicle right now. They are running background checks, or indices checks, as we call it in the industry, going back to see if there's any criminal record, see if there's a social media imprint. While we are at least cresting ourselves out of the woods, the job is not done yet. I'm going to be interested to hear what the public officials in Texas say about this, to find out whether or not they are 100% certain that this was a lone wolf or a single shooter, or whether this person was inspired, directed, or had co-conspirators, Anna.
And I do have some new information that also is just being confirmed by our team here. One person dead, 21 injured now is what the word is from the mayor of Midland, Texas, confirming again 21 people injured with one person dead. And what we know is at least one person, the active shooter, has also been killed. Don't know if he shot and killed himself or if it was in the exchange of gunfire with police, but Midland police saying that an active shooter has been killed and that they do not believe there's an active shooter at this time. We also have some new information coming in again from the local medical center there, and it looks like at least one of the victims who was shot was a 17-month-old child. We're working to get more information about those injured. The mayor of Midland, Texas, in fact, is joining us right now, Jerry Morales. Thank you so much, Mayor Morales, for being here with us. What is the latest information you can tell us?
Yes, good afternoon. So, yes, we have confirmed that the active shooter, we have one confirmed active shooter that has been killed, and the Midland Police Department did kill that shooter. We have at least 20 citizens who have been injured, not necessarily from the shooter, but from the shooter being active. And then we had one Midland police officer who was shot and is in surgery. It's life-threatening, and one Department of Public Safety injury from the shooter, non-life-threatening. So we are hoping that this was just one shooter and that we have contained him.
And so you said you're hoping that it's just one shooter. At this time, it's unclear to you, at least, that if there are multiple shooters?
That is correct.
Okay, and as far as the shooter that has been killed, do you know anything about this person?
We do not know. I do not know anything about the person or what the motive was. So this has all been happening very fast. It was all very, it was all in movement. And between Midland and Odessa, there's about 20 miles a difference. The shooter was pulled over on the interstate by a DPS officer. That's when he shot the officer and then took off and started shooting randomly. And then everything happened after that.
And where was it that the shooter ultimately died?
At a movie theater called Synergy in between Midland and Odessa.
And what was the circumstance in which the police encountered that person there?
So again, it just pursued into a chase, and between all the law enforcement, they trapped him in the parking lot of the Synergy Theater, and then that's when they were able to engage the shooter.
Do you know anything about the people who have been shot or injured beyond who you described for us being a police officer and another official who also sustained an injury? We know you said the police officer is in surgery. Obviously, hope and pray that everything ends up okay there. One person was killed. Who was that?
And again, do not know anything about that fatality, and do not know anything about the injuries. And I do not know anything about the shooter at this time. So all of this has just transpired in the last few minutes, and we are just hoping that this has come to an end, and just asking everybody for their prayers.
Oh, okay. Well, Mayor, thank you very much for your time. We know you're working to find out more information as well, and we appreciate you bringing us what you know at this time. Let me just reiterate what we just learned from Mayor Morales. He says at least one person is dead, 20+ people injured. Some of the injuries may not be gunshot wounds because obviously it's been a chaotic situation, people fleeing, people very scared, trying to get away. So there may be some variations of injuries there, but he told us of one police officer who was shot undergoing surgery, another police official also taken to the hospital, and at this time it's unclear exactly whether this situation is contained, but we know one person who they were calling the active shooter has been killed. Midland police tweeting out that they believe there is no active shooter at this time, but we're still working to get more information to confirm that there is not an ongoing situation. Please stay with us. You're watching CNN. Another quick break and we'll come back continuing to monitor that press conference set to get underway any moment. Stay with us.